is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
From preps to pros and everything in between, it's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome into Reaction Monday here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow, Mo Patton, JP Plant, glad to be back with you, as it has felt like a lifetime. Felt like a lifetime. But we are back and ready to react to all of the things that happened over the last 4.5 days ish. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, I guess technically 5 days because the last half of Wednesday too. But boy, have we got a lot to talk about today.
I'm afraid we're going to forget to react to something.
Oh yeah, I mean there was so much.
There was a lot, man.
As much that did happen, though, didn't happen. And that's obviously
we need to react to that as well.
One of our top stories. So we'll get into it. We'll get into all of the college hoops, college bowl games, what's coming up.
Non-bowl games?
Bowl games that didn't happen or aren't going to happen. We'll talk about.
That should happen.
You know,
some stuff just makes too much sense, man.
I don't understand, and we'll get into it, but I just don't understand why you can't tell me a little bit earlier so that I don't fly to City 1 and I could have flown to City 2.
I still don't know why there's not more of a effort being made to pair up
these teams.
Some of these teams. And I guess we need to wait.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. We're going to get into all of that. We're also going to find out how I did this to my thumb. I'm going to take this. There's a pretty big gash right here.
Stop.
So.
Don't nobody want to see that?
Well, at least there's a Band-Aid on it.
Thank you.
But friend of the show, Jeffrey Reed from the Summit Gridiron Club, put a poll out to asking his followers to vote in a poll. And how did Chris nearly slice his finger off this week? Was it A, sharpening a throwing axe, B, wrestling an alligator, C, assembling an IKEA thing, or D, preparing a meal? I will give you the answer in just a little bit.
Oh, I'm going with D for sure.
And before we get to that answer and the COVID bowl killing and all of the other things that need to be in our top stories, we're going to give you the results from the last 4.5 days and tonight's schedule on the rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today.
In girls basketball action last week, I think we gave you this one on Wednesday's show, actually. Elkmont defeated Richland 60-38 down at Wallace State Hanceville on Wednesday. Also in girls basketball action, Lawrence County defeated Wayne, West Virginia 64-37, and it was Pearl-Cohn defeating Summit 41 Summit up at the Beach Holiday Tournament. In boys action down in Fort Payne, Alabama, Lawrence County with a 64-62 win over Murfreesboro Central. NFL action on Thursday night, and we'll talk more about this later. Tennessee Titans come off the mat for a 2017 win over the San Francisco 49ers.
That's right.
There we go.
NCAA men's basketball action. It was Tennessee downing number 6 and previously unbeaten Arizona 77-74. Vanderbilt was out in Hawaii. They got a couple of wins. They downed Hawaii 68-54 on Wednesday, and on Thursday they defeated BYU 69-67.
But they did not get a third win because
They did not because, well, COVID.
Yeah.
And also on Wednesday, though, MTSU fell to Chattanooga 77-65. And
income from ahead fashion on that one.
Never good. In NBA action on Thursday, the Warriors down the Grizzlies 113-104, but the Grizzlies bounced back with a 127-102 win over the Kings.
High school basketball action today at 6 o'clock over at Riverdale. Columbia Central's girls resume play against Mason of Ohio. Again, that's a 6 o'clock start in the State Farm Classic at Riverdale. At the Lake Cumberland Holiday Classic in Somerset, Kentucky, are the Spring Hill Boys. Who they're playing, when they're playing, we have no clue. NFL action tonight, Dolphins Saints. Look for Alvin Kamara and the Wildcat tonight. New Orleans pretty thin at quarterback. That's a 7:15 start on ESPN. At 8 o'clock tonight, Grizzlies in Phoenix against the Suns. And at 5:30 today on the SEC Network Plus, UTC's women play at Tennessee.
That's going to do it for the rundown. Speaking of the Tennessee women, you mentioned this earlier, that Tennessee, one of 9 teams.
One of 9 teams, one of 9 schools, I guess, to have both their men's and women's programs in the AP Top 25 this week. Let me see if I can find the others real quick. It's pretty impressive.
On top of that, did you see where Tennessee, I think, was the only school to have the football team made a bowl game, men's made the tournament, women's made the tournament, and the College World Series from the baseball team? That was pretty neat.
That is pretty neat. Arizona, Baylor, Duke, Iowa State, Kentucky, LSU, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Texas have both their men's and women's teams ranked in the top 25. According to Fox College Hoops at CBB on Fox on Twitter.
There you go.
That's solid.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. You'll take it if you're a Tennessee fan, for sure. Let's get this out of the way. My fingers nearly got sliced off.
Nearly got sliced off. I like that passive.
It was so close, and luckily did not happen. The results of the poll, 75% thought I was assembling an IKEA thing, which, I mean, on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, actually, it seems to be like a positive. That's a very plausible question or answer. 8.3% said wrestling an alligator. 2.8% said sharpening a throwing axe because, well, that's never going to happen. And 13.9% were right when they said I was preparing a meal. I was cutting or trying to slice Brussels sprouts.
Well, that was your first mistake.
Let me tell you.
Why were Brussels sprouts on your menu?
All right. Garlic powder, red pepper flakes, salt, onion powder,
bacon,
and bacon.
Oh,
in the air fryer.
Okay.
All together. The bacon is raw. You just throw it in there. It all cooks together, and it is phenomenal.
You know,
phenomenal.
You might get me.
That's the.
I will tell you, I have probably not had Brussels sprouts in 45 years.
Because nobody was cooking them that way back then. They were just roasting them
and rolling them out and eat this.
Here's some salt and pepper. Good luck.
There wasn't that much luck in the world.
No. I will put it this way. Sarah ate them. Not only did Sarah eat them, she enjoyed them. Which
did she get seconds?
There were no seconds. So we had a couple of friends over, and I neglected to make the second bag because I was.
Hold on, Mo. Did you get that invitation?
You wouldn't have come anyway.
Dang. Pull.
Just play it. Go ahead. Carry on.
That's good.
I do like Brussels sprouts, by the way.
Well, let me just tell
So
you.
I would have eaten the Brussels sprouts.
That's the way to do it. Well, I would have made a second bag if I had known they were going to be that good. But also glad I didn't make a second bag because that means I now have a bag to myself. So I can just do it all over again and not have to worry about it. So anyway, it was in fact preparing a meal. All right. Real quick, Washington football team had a big blow up on the bench last night. It was getting pretty heated, no? But it wasn't because of the benches that they brought with them.
Had nothing to do with the benches.
No, it was the fact that Dak Prescott was throwing touchdown passes to everybody. Everybody.
Dak Prescott becoming the first NFL quarterback ever to throw a touchdown pass to a running back, a receiver, a tight end, and an offensive lineman in the same game.
It's the only time you see trick plays.
He was playing Oprah Winfrey.
You get a touchdown. Everybody gets a touchdown.
Who wants to score?
I've seen some high school games like that, right? Hey, who wants to get in and run the ball?
You want a touchdown? Come on.
You remember my Santa Claus story about Fairfield?
you want a touchdown? Come on.
He ain't even on the roster. Oh, we'll call him Santa Claus.
There we go.
Oh, and finally, like you said, Mo, why are we not making more effort to pair some of these teams up who are losing bowl opponents to COVID?
Yeah. I mean, it started with the Gator Bowl with Wake Forest. Who was it that dropped out against them? Was it Miami? No, it wasn't Miami. They're in the same conference.
No, it was it was a group of 5 team, I believe.
Goodness, that's crazy.
It's
well, I mean, there's been so many to drop out since.
Yeah, that's kind of been the big issue. We just
A&M.
That's who it was. It was Texas A&M.
Texas A&M dropped out, so they went and pulled Rutgers off the couch. 5-7 Rutgers. Although you knew this wasn't going to be the only team to fall out. And sure enough, now you find out that Hawaii's not able to play against Memphis in the Hawaii Bowl, and so
think you'd be able to keep COVID out of your system if 1, you're in Hawaii and 2, you're at home.
But as we talked last week, that program's in such shambles that there's no telling what's going on over there. So you thought, okay, or my thought was, send Rutgers home, send Memphis to Jacksonville. Oh, but wait, somebody drops out of the Sun Bowl. That was Miami.
That was Miami.
Now, who were they?
State.
Okay.
And my question is, the chaos. How many of these teams are just trying to avoid getting beat in a bowl game? Because they're taking it all the way up to get those practices, and then boom, oh, we can't play.
But it's my understanding that you don't get the payout.
Yeah, that you don't. There is no money because there's no.
And if you are getting the practices, well, if you're dropping out after you've practiced at your home site, but before you report, then I guess there's not a whole lot of expense involved.
Which is what I'm thinking is happening here because, Memphis, it does. For Hawaii, obviously they were at home. But, nobody went to – Miami didn't go to El Paso. And I just can see that some folks are probably making that excuse.
I really feel bad for the American Athletic Conference because Memphis lost an opponent, SMU lost an opponent, and ECU lost an opponent. They were both supposed to play in what? One was in the Pinstripe, one was in the Fenway,
and the other was in military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so ECU and Boston were in the Military Bowl.
Okay.
And Annapolis. amazing that all of those are P5 schools against the P6. Anyway,
yeah.
You take that however you want to take it. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. On the other side of the break, we have Joe Williams. We'll probably talk some Williamson County sports, but there may be some other things that we get to as well. So stick around. You never know what you're going to hear when Joe's on the line. We'll be right back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, as we are continuing to react on Reaction Monday to all of the things that happened over the weekend, and there are plenty of those things. Plenty to talk about. And I guess for that matter, there's some things that have been in the works for a while that we can talk about and probably will here in the next few minutes. But we are always excited when we get a chance to talk to our friends from the Williamson Herald. Joe Williams is on the line, and he is helping Charles Pulliam and the Williamson Herald cover high school sports and more from Brentwood to Spring Hill, Nolensville to Fairview, and everywhere in between. And you can always sign up at williamsonherald.com for your subscription or just read it there. they'll deliver you a copy every Thursday to your door if you would like. But without further ado, we bring in the Diet Mountain Dew man himself, Joe Williams. Joe, what's up?
What about it, boys? I am so glad Christmas is over.
Well, Christmas being
Tell us
over.
why. Hold on.
No, I can tell you why, because it means he doesn't have to make any more Chex Mix. Is that right,
No,
Joe?
no,
Oh,
I've got to do that.
Speaking of that, JP,
No.
you got some Chex Mix at my house, man. If you want to stop by on the way out, I forgot.
Okay, so quick story. So Joe called during our Zoom meeting on Wednesday morning and says, where are you at? I'm like, I'm at home. So he comes by playing Santa Claus, drops off some bags and takes off. Well, in a bag is Chex Mix for the three of us in 3 different canisters, which I promptly leave in Franklin when I come to do Wednesday show. Jody just happens to be coming down, and so she brings it down after the show, after we have broken up. So I hand off Chris and JP's to Chris, and I've eaten mine.
And Joe, you see where that got us.
Yeah. Well,
I ate mine during the Titans game because I was needing
sustenance.
Yeah, that's
Well,
the best way to put it.
Well, JP, you'll get it.
Yeah, it's not like it doesn't exist. I didn't eat it.
We'll see.
So anyway, but Joe, your Chex Mix was
Hey, Bubba.
much appreciated. And
I was going to say, JP, don't worry about it. Anything tastes that bad won't go bad. So.
It's non-perishable. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, Joe's Chex Mix and cockroaches, nuclear war, all the same.
the goodness. I thought it was pretty good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you
other than Christmasing, Joe, what's been going on the last little bit?
I have just been watching from home, getting ready. I always love the time, especially in high school sports, between Christmas and New Year's, because somebody somewhere is usually smart enough to put on a pretty good basketball game. And thank goodness Jim Fay and the guy and John Wall and the guys down at Summit figured out this would be their year.
Seems so.
I'm looking forward to that. Overton has one every year that's pretty good. But I'm looking forward to being able to stay in county.
The King of the Hill Holiday Classic starts tomorrow. 8 boys teams taking part, and it was kind of set up like a Wilco versus everybody, but somebody kind of fell off. But at 12 noon tomorrow, you'll have Independence playing Lebanon, and that should be a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, it'd be a good game.
At 1:30, Lighthouse Christian is taking on Rockvale. At 3, you've got Page and Riverdale, and at 4:30, you've got Summit and Station Camp. So some good teams.
Yeah,
Folks got a chance to go see
the
the.
next couple of days.
Say what?
And then they'll keep playing the next couple of days.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be really good.
Yeah, it continues. You got 4 more games on Wednesday, depending on who wins and loses, and then 7th, 5th, 3rd, and championship games on Thursday. Again at 12 noon, 1:30, 3 o'clock, and 4:30. So should be some pretty good stuff over there at Summit, like you said. I'm looking forward to seeing this Summit team. Haven't had a chance to see them yet this year. Seen Indy a couple of times, so should be some fun.
That's all the Indy Page game. The Indy Page guys game was a pretty good game, and I'm anxious to see those folks tee it up again. I have not seen Summit either. I'm anxious to see how Coach Fay has done this year. I know Coach Fay, I think, is a Bear Bryant disciple. He could have 5 All-Americans. He'd tell you how bad they are.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah. He's gotten a couple of guys out from football. I think Tanner Shake is out there. I believe Dominic Hollis is out there. So those guys are still kind of rounding into basketball form, I think. But looking forward to seeing what they can get done, especially in this new district, because Independence, Columbia Central, Ravenwood, and Nolensville will be in the newly formed District 12-AAAA or 12-4A, however whatever style you're gonna use. But again,
let me try to be as polite and politically correct as I can. But this new reclassification and redistricting for basketball and the other sports is the dumbest thing I have ever seen.
You mean
tell us how you really feel?
Elaborate on that.
Well, you watered things down again. 2, you destroyed some natural rivalries. 3, you're going to create some, and that's a good thing. But 4, why do we need 4 classes in basketball?
I don't know that basketball was the driving force behind this.
I think basketball was
the driving force.
I think basketball was the driving force behind it. But what's funny is they've been pushing for it for years, and almost as soon as they got it, you started hearing about
how people didn't like it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Hey, look, it's like my 4th wife. Be careful what you ask for.
I wonder if it was the vocal minority that just had the votes, and now now the vocal part is the majority, and we're out here, finally hearing some pushback.
It's going to be interesting because I think this was in place for 2 years, but at the same time, I don't.
Well, remember now, this is the same Board of Control that sent us to Chattanooga for football and got us kicked out.
There is that. On the one hand, I'm thinking, okay, it's 2 years. Maybe you go back to 3 classes in the next classification period. But at the same time, I don't think that genie goes back in the bottle either. So.
Well, now when you got 4 people getting golden balls now, it's just like football. Guys, we're giving out, 9 football trophies?
9.
You think we're going to reduce that?
Nope.
That's what really worries me about this, is now we're going to give out 4 golden basketball. You think we're ever going back to 3? No.
Well,
how long before we start giving out? Thank you. Yeah, you're right. Well, how long before we start giving out 9?
I don't think you'll get any more than 4 at the public school level, just because of the midweek travel that would go with any more classes.
Well, but wait a minute now. Think about it. You've got more teams that play basketball than play football.
Mm-hmm.
And ask Charles Pulliam. Travel's not an issue. This guy used to go 1,200 miles for a district conference. We're talking about midweek.
Mr. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not going to go to class in somebody else's school though either, like they do in Alaska. So that's a non-starter.
But think about it. So but you got to play 2 games, so you go play Friday night, and then you stay over and play Saturday. You got both district games in. Be great for the economy somewhere. You get travel out of it. I told you I wasn't very cogent today.
Not that it matters.
No, you're terribly cogent. I am. Stranger things have happened.
We've talked about it. Alabama does all of their classes the same, but they have 100 more schools. I don't see how you can justify any more. I'm not sure how you justified 4, but I want to know we know why football went to 2 divisions and why it went up to 6 classes. But who's the culprit? There's Brentwood Academy. We know that they're the reason that some things happen in football, right? Who's the culprit in this one? Is there a culprit?
I don't think anybody was necessarily driving this. I don't know that there was necessarily anybody that folks were trying to get away from. I just think a lot of it was football related, to be honest, because they said, well, hey, you've got 5, you've got 6 classes in football. Why do we only have 3?
Sure. I can see that.
And here's the thing, and Chris, you hit it earlier. There was a vocal minority because the majority, and it's just like in the real world. You sit there and go, "Oh, that'll never happen." I don't need to be against it because that'll never happen. Well, guess what? It happened, and now it's too late.
Here we are. You're right. I mean, and that's the unfortunate thing. Like you said, 8 AAA, we talk about it on this show all the time. The old 8 AAA is now no more. I mean, you have a messed up version.
Yes.
That's not what I wanted to say.
But
corrupted
version. Think about
11
this.
AAA even.
Yeah. Well, think about this though. Realize, and Maurice, you probably remember some of this too. Back in the day, if you will, when a lot of the metro schools were in the 17th and 18th district. So how many districts were across the state at that? What do we have? 36, 32.
Now we're
down to 16.
That one does predate me just a little bit, but I mean,
oh, come on, make me feel good.
No, I remember when all of Metro Nashville was in one region. I mean, because everybody was AAA, and it was all regions. I think it was all region 6 AAA up there because it was 11 and 12, and basically Franklin Road was the dividing line.
It was a river. It was the river. The east side was 12, and the west side was 11.
Yeah. So,
but now,
but you also had the private schools mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you add more to the public schools. You don't add to the private schools, and
it's different, and it's going to be interesting because, again, like you said, Chris, as soon as 4 classes went into effect, you started hearing about how little
and it
support
wasn't
there
just
was
basketball.
for it.
I mean, we heard it from baseball and softball coaches that, it's been rough. But hey,
I tell you how tough it's been on me because I covered the Page Independence game and walked in going, boy, it's awfully early for this kind of a big of a district contest. And I sat there a minute and said, "Oh, wait a minute."
That's
right. Hey,
contrast.
Coach, you just played this game and it really doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. But to the kids it did. That was a big time neighbor rivalry. It just doesn't count when it comes time to play the end of the year.
It's unfortunate, and yet here we are. Joe, I guess one of the positives that comes out of it for 4A is that the region is now the old District 11 AAA, basically. Add in Columbia Central and
add in Hillsborough and Overton.
Hillsborough and Overton, and but it's a pretty good region. At least you're getting at least the region travel isn't so bad. I mean, it could be worse. You could be, Richland going to Joe Burns or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So, maybe that helps.
Or Spring Hill going to White County.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So.
No, I get it. It's just that when you've got 9 schools in Williamson County and some of the biggest neighborhood rivalries, and I'll just use Brentwood and Ravenwood.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing on the line other than bragging rights.
Bragging rights are pretty big up there,
that
but
be
you're right.
I'll grant you. I say don't think for a minute I'm taking away from that, but I'm just saying it's not the crucial.
Mm-hmm.
It could eventually.
I know it's still important. If Dennis King were around, he'd still be patting his wallet on the way out. I know. But that story.
Oh, no doubt. Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald with us here on a Monday afternoon. Joe, we appreciate you. We will catch up.
Anytime, my friend, I'm here for you.
All right. When we come back, we continue on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, talking some college football. Be right back.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant, coming to you from the Lee Company studio and the Front Porch Sports headquarters. WKOM 1017 FM. Of course, you can watch us online at Twitter at SM_TN Sports, Facebook and YouTube as well. So check us out. JP, you talked us all the way through the bold pick'em last week, and I thought that we all made some pretty solid observations.
Solid? Yeah. We try to do that.
And at least one of those paid off today, because the Western Michigan Broncos absolutely just decimated Nevada, and Mo talked me into it.
Yeah, we can thank Mo for that, for helping solidify our conscience on that pick, right?
Yeah.
You and I were kind of wavering, I think. At least I was. I can't speak for you, but based on what you said, you kind of flipped at the last second, or at least made the decision based on Mo making some very good points, as Mo does, as he is wont to do.
You know,
there you go, Mo.
Thank you.
I was watching.
What was that final?
52-24.
Hello.
They didn't score quite as many as the Cowboys.
They tried.
And they gave up more.
McElwain, I was watching the broadcast, and McElwain said that they are just like they're teetering on the edge. I mean, they beat some really good teams this year, and he said he felt like that this team was very close to being very good. And obviously in the MAC, they've not had a great bowl season to this point. Having lost, Toledo losing, Northern Illinois losing. So the MAC hasn't had. Eastern Michigan got drilled by Liberty. They've not had a great start to the bowl season. Obviously, Wyoming destroyed Kent State.
They're no Conference USA.
And then clearly they're not. Then Wyoming, after winning 52-38, their coach makes a plea for any transfer quarterbacks who would like to do so. Please feel free to send us your tape.
Oh, good Lord.
We have a track record. Josh Allen came here as a transfer. So in case you're, looking for a place and a home, we'd love to be it.
Please tell me that the guy that played quarterback for him was a senior.
No, he entered the transfer portal right after dumping fries on his coach. Dumped the bucket of fries on the coach, entered the transfer portal.
Well, maybe the coach knew he was going into the transfer portal
No,
when
he
he
did.
made that plea.
He did.
That plea.
He did. That was I guess the kid told him after the game. Coach, or he told him before the game, said, Coach, this is it for me.
Deuces.
I feel like I can be more visible elsewhere.
I'm taking my talents to
somewhere else.
To the portal.
And so now Wyoming, he basically made a public plea and said, we're looking for transfers. If you want a place to play, we got an open spot because our guy's leaving.
And
I don't think he was real happy about it. I'll be honest with you.
What's that say about whoever else is on the depth chart at quarterback at Wyoming?
That was my concern, was what if you're still there and you're a quarterback?
So you're saying there's not a chance?
I'm just chopped liver. Huh?
I'm just kind of here. I'm scout team.
Who am I?
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate for them. I mean, what do you do? So I thought that was interesting that was how he chose to kind of go with that.
Well, I mean, I guess there's no better way to get it out there.
In the college football landscape is changing, and the one-time transfer rule in NIL. Our staff anticipated this movement and have a clear vision to navigate these uncharted waters. After a successful early signing day, Cowboy football will address the need to sign a quarterback via the transfer portal or junior college. We believe this is a great opportunity for a transfer quarterback to come in and make an impact on our program. We've seen that before when we brought in Josh Allen to our program. We're excited for the next chapter of Cowboy football. Go Pokes, and that is Craig Bowl. So, there's that.
Craig Bowl. Was he at one of the Dakota schools before he took over at Wyoming?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think he
But apparently 2 of their quarterbacks hit the portal. So their backup and their starter.
Hope you find one.
Levi Williams is gone, as well as Isaiah Nayor. So it's interesting.
Yeah, he was at North Dakota State.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I just thought that was, we talked about this transfer portal. We talked about there were 72 quarterbacks. I mean, there's somebody out there, including junior college guys. There's bound to be somebody who wants to play Division I FBS college football and can do it. Mountain West got 2 wins. We got that Wyoming win, but then of course they lost today to Western Michigan in pretty convincing fashion. Georgia State, pretty well lit up Ball State. A little surprised there, but maybe not.
Well, they were 3.5 point favorite in that game.
Georgia State was, in fact, a 3.5 point favorite. But the SEC is the one who's kind of struggling right now. First 2 games that got played, Missouri, a 3.5 point dog, covers the spread, gets beat 24-22. I was a little surprised that I hit the under in that game because, well, it's Army,
right?
So it was a good. So, and here's the thing, Brian Basilek is in the portal.
Connor.
So,
Yeah.
Brian. Oof, man, that's a name that I haven't said in a minute. Yeah. Sorry, Brian Bazelak played at Samford and was a Steel Dogs quarterback for a minute.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, in 2005. So that tells you how long ago that was. 16 years ago, just in my head. Connor Bazelak or Bazelak, however he says his name. I guess he could go to Wyoming.
Somebody else will have to figure out how to say it, I guess. Huh?
We don't have to worry about it. And then, of course, Florida just gets manhandled by UCF.
That's funny. 29-17 the final.
29-17. And UCF, the 6.5-point dog. Just, I mean, it to me, was as I was watching what I could during the Titans game.
Right.
It just, every time I flipped over, UCF had momentum.
Was scoring.
Yeah. Or they were turning it over right as they were about to score. I mean, this could have been worse. Florida looked flat.
You know, it's not the first time Florida has gone to a bowl game and acted like they didn't want to be there.
I saw one of those red button memes today that made me think, and I loved it. On one side, it's, we don't want to be here. The other side, it just means more. So which one is it? I mean, I feel like Missouri played as best they could play. Now, Florida had a ton of players in the transfer portal. One of whom was starting a quarterback for them. One of whom was starting a quarterback. They didn't have their coach. There's a lot of turmoil in that program. But you got to find a way to beat UCF if you're Florida. You got to find a way to beat Gus Malzahn if you're Florida.
Yeah, I mean, that's a game that if you're Florida, you have to win, because you're going to have to listen to those folks for a long time. And you talking about your 3 national championships in football and all of your national championships across the board and everything else that you're going to want to throw back up at those folks. 29-17.
Doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, yeah, you got all that, but we got this. And the only way for Florida to erase that is to play them again.
That's right. That's where I was going, was now the situation is kind of like UAB and Alabama in anything.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play them now because
that's out there. And if you don't play them, well, of course they won't play us because they know what happened the last time they played us.
Exactly.
So you have to play them, and you have to beat them, and you have to beat them like 52-7 and be driving when time runs out. You know, I mean,
you kick a field goal as the clock hits 0.
Yeah, I mean, you have to beat them as badly as possible when you play them again, and you have to play them.
If you're UCF, why do you? Why would you sign a contract to play them? Even if it's home and home.
UCF can't turn that money down.
If it's home and home?
It has to be home and home.
Oh, well, yeah, you can't.
UCF's going to be a Power 5 conference.
That's true.
The next year or two. So I mean,
they're in the Big 12. That's right.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer they do that. You beat them again at UCF, and
it's got to be home and home. And the first game's got to be in Orlando.
Yeah. Get your 70,000 plus student body behind you.
Yeah.
If they just gave everybody free tickets that's in the student body, they'd sell out.
Yeah.
They would sell out anyway because this bowl game sold out.
Yeah.
That's a tough spot for Florida.
Doubled up the highest attended version of this bowl ever, I think.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
yeah, or at least what they averaged was like 30,000, and they got over 60.
Yeah, wow.
That's it. It's not surprising to me. I mean, this UCF team, they felt like they underachieved, but they also felt like some good things happened toward the end of the year, and they were feeling pretty good going up against a team that, well, quite frankly, is trash. I mean, that Florida team's just bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here's the SEC's got a chance to, obviously this week is huge. 15-4 over the last 2 years is the SEC in bowl games.
15-4.
So now 15-6 over the last 2 years and 2 games.
Have they only played 2 and lost to both?
You've got Auburn, obviously tomorrow, which we'll talk about with Nubyjas Wilson later. We've got Mississippi.
Wilborn.
I'm sorry. Did I say Wilburn?
No, you said Wilson.
Oh.
You're just killing names left and right.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, Basilak got me. Auburn, and then you got Mississippi State tomorrow as well.
In the Mike Leach Bowl.
In the Mike Leach Bowl. And hopefully they get played. Then, of course, North Carolina, South Carolina, and the Mayo Bowl and Music City on Thursday as well. I think the next 2 are kind of must-wins for the SEC. If you know, just we've seen the SEC go 500 in bowls before, and boy, that's never good for the SEC bias crowd.
That SEC versus everybody thing. Yeah,
because everybody piles on.
Mm-hmm.
And well, why'd you get 2 teams in the playoff and blah blah blah? Especially if one of them was to happen to lose. Oh. It's a lot. So, man, I'm looking forward to this week. This week is going to tell a lot of tales.
With great power comes great responsibility, right?
There you go. Let's talk Titans on the other side. On the top of the hour, we'll get Nubyjas Wilborn later in the hour too, and we'll talk some college hoops as well. So stick around with us. A whole hour coming your way right after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Blue Raiders to the two-tone blue, covering the teams you care about. It's only on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Hour number 2 getting underway here on Reaction Monday as we get a chance to talk about the surging Tennessee Titans.
You could say resurging.
We could in
Resurging.
fact say resurging. This is wild. It's been like 4.5 days since we played. Feels like it's been 2 weeks since that Thursday night game. But, you know, guys, I was very proud of the way this team fought from just being knocked down. You know, after last week, and then, you know, you kind of get down early. This team could have just said, well, it is what it is.
Ain't our week.
Let's try again next time.
Yeah, just look at all these folks we don't have.
But instead, A.J. Brown said, hold my Gatorade. And was absolutely the difference in the ballgame. Period, point blank, nobody else. A.J. Brown is the difference in this team. Not just in that 49ers game. He is the difference maker on this team. As long as Henry's out, I guess. Henry makes the team so much different. But, my goodness. A.J. Brown had, 8 catches on third down? Which was...
8 of his 13 came on third down.
I think that was the NFL record. You know, and I kept saying, well, how can we not cover their...
Deebo Samuel?
Yeah, Samuel. Well, I guess 49er fans were probably saying,
How can they not
how
cover?
can we not cover number 11? So, you know, it's... The wild part about this is the Titans are a half game from being the number 1 seed again. Patriots are out. All we got to do is win the same amount of games as
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Are they tied?
No, Kansas City is a game ahead right now. But if Kansas City loses either of their last 2, Tennessee's probably in.
Well, Tennessee's got to win
They got to
both
win
of their
both of
last.
them. They got to win both of them. But man, they're right there. That's insane. Because after the Patriots after the Patriots lost to the Colts, lost to the Colts, but then the Titans lost to the Steelers. We thought, well, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
And then lo and behold, the Bills actually pulled it off and are probably going to win that division.
Because they swept them, didn't they?
So at this point, the Patriots are just trying to hold on to get in. And that's not necessarily a guarantee right now with the way, 1, that they're playing, and 2, this AFC is just jam-packed in the middle. And they've got games. They've still got to play the Dolphins. Now they play the Jaguars on Sunday. But the Dolphins aren't an easy win.
No.
They already lost to the Dolphins. They lost to the Dolphins 17-16 in week 1. Now, granted, that was Mac Jones' first game as a pro. Things have since changed, but this is getting interesting. No question. The AFC is getting interesting. This Titans team is absolutely desperate in need of everybody who is currently healthy to stay healthy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can't afford another injury. They can't afford any more sickness. They need to get some folks back, but one in particular. But if they can't get anybody else hurt,
Roger
Man,
Saffold would have been a big help, but it's pretty nice to know that you could do that against San Francisco without him.
And I mean, obviously they had to scheme and help Raduns, however you pronounce it. But
did they? He forced Joey Bosa to move sides.
Now, did he force him to move sides? Or I wasn't paying enough attention.
Yes.
Did he force him to move sides, or did the scheme force him to move sides? Because I wonder if they weren't just trying to find some place that they could get him through. Because you can't help with a tight end on both sides.
No,
Were they?
Raduns was handling Joey Bosa.
Straight up?
Straight up. Raduns, I was shocked at how well he played at the left tackle position. It just goes to show that you can't always make tackles interchangeable. People who play right tackle can't always play left tackle, and vice versa.
Yeah. It's not as simple as go play for sure, but maybe. Interesting.
It certainly is interesting, considering
Mm-hmm.
considering how much money you're paying your current left tackle, and all night long in that Thursday night, I was just frustrated trying, thinking this team just looks, I guess, kind of ho-hum at times. The defense didn't look great early until they did, holding to the field goal, and then the Jackrabbit Jenkins interception was huge. I mean, it just felt like every time that team needed a big play from its defense, it got one. But they look
Jackrabbit
useless.
Jenkins interception. You cannot overstate how huge that was, because what was it? Was it 7-0 at that point?
It was 7-0, and they were driving.
And they were getting ready to double up right there. And that held them off. They did come back down, kick a field goal to go up 10-0. But I mean, if it's 14-0 there, instead of continuing to be 7-0, the way they're playing, you could easily see the route being on right there.
For me, I thought that was it. I mean, I watched that first drive, and they just, melted butter, hot knives, and whatnot. And then drive 2 wasn't any better defensively. And it just felt like that interception, even though the offense was able to do nothing to help, that it gave the defense just enough to feel like, okay, let's get this done. Well, then the Titans come out, and they cut it 10-7. And you think, now we got a ball game here. Hang on. Let's see how this goes. And then AJ Brown, that trick play idea was kind of scary, to be honest with you. But AJ Brown, 11 catches, 145 yards. And it just felt like he was going to make every catch that he had to make. You were not going to keep the ball out of his hands. And they had no answer.
And he basically did.
They had no answer for him. San Francisco couldn't run the ball at all. They could not have run it if they had 12 blockers. Titans shut it down. They forced Jimmy Garoppolo to beat them, and he couldn't.
Which has kind of been a knock on Jimmy Garoppolo
for a while. Then, of course, you get a game like that out of both Rashaan Evans and Zach Cunningham. Cunningham had one play where he just sifted across the line and made a tackle on a running back that just it's exactly what you expect from an SEC linebacker, and the speed.
Mm-hmm.
He matched the speed of that offense, which is something you don't see from NFL linebackers all the time.
I was some kind of way I was listening to the game, or maybe I was listening to McGinnis in the car the next day, but I was listening, and the comment was made that Zach Cunningham's athleticism almost matches that of Rashad Evans. That was my reaction, because I just felt like Zach Cunningham was more athletic than Rashawn Evans, and wouldn't really have thought it was close, but it was.
But having two guys who can go sideline to sideline like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Zach takes a little pressure off of Rashawn. I mean, Rashawn had a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he felt comfortable with, with Zach Cunningham being the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed a lot because, outside of that 8-play, 95-yard drive that tied the game, they were the 49ers had no answer on offense in the second half.
Well, like you said, the inability to tackle Deebo Samuel made that game tougher than it needed to be, because they got some plays out of him that really kind of, extended the game, maybe made the game a little bit more dramatic than it needed to be.
But give Ryan Tannehill credit. Like, once again, with the game on the line, nobody better since he's become the starter in Tennessee. Nobody has more game-winning or game-tying drives in the fourth quarter than Ryan Tannehill.
Kind of crazy.
And he doesn't even have his best running back. He just got his number one receiver back. If Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, by the way, there were times where neither one of them were on the field. And I don't know how that happens. Once again, we've got a Todd Downing issue. But with those two guys and the offensive line being as patchwork as it was, and you still go out there and beat a team that's pretty dadgum good. Now, granted, it was at home. Here's the best part about next week. More than 9 days rest, Vrabel's undefeated.
Another nugget.
Another nugget. Speaking of nuggets, before we get out of here, I'll give you this one. I didn't believe in this crap until, well, Mo, you're wearing the evidence that it's true. The number 22, obviously, we all know that's King Henry's number, right? If you multiply A.J. Brown and Julio Jones's numbers together, you get 22. The next Super Bowl is in 2022, and the atomic number of titanium
is 22.
Is 22. Wait, there's more. How many years has it been since the Titans last made the Super Bowl? 22. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Titans year.
Titans going to Super Bowl.
Let's talk to Nubyjas Wilborn on the other side of the break about the Birmingham Bowl and the Auburn Tigers and the Houston Cougars and all that's going on. Auburn spent some time at Topgolf. I wonder who had the highest scores. We'll talk to Nubyjas on the other side. Stick around. It's going to be a good one.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Sports talk like it used to be. You know, like your crazy uncle used to listen to. Only better. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Continuing to talk about, that sounded great. Continue to talk some college football here because, you know, that's what we do. Got a big one coming up this week, later this week, when the Tennessee Vols and Purdue take to Nissan Stadium, which is interesting because typically they don't have to play an NFL game 3 days later, but they do this week. So the Titans will play their home finale on Sunday after the Music City Bowl concludes on Thursday.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of shape that football field is in.
I wonder if the grounds crew at Nissan is maybe hoping for some cancellation. But please do it before we paint the field. If you're gonna do it before we paint it.
Maybe they should just wait to paint it. Yeah,
it's gonna be the Snickers commercial. That's great, but who are the chefs?
Who are the chefs?
Oh man, one of the games we're really excited about and hoping it feels like we're going to get this one in anyway. Houston and Auburn at Protective Stadium in Birmingham tomorrow morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. That stadium is going to be it's almost a hard sellout from what I understand. So again, should be a lot of fun. And to talk more about it, we have with us Nubyjas Wilborn, who covers the Auburn Tigers. And Nubyjas, it's a disappointing end for this Auburn team, but they're making the best of it, it seems, so far.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I thought the Iron Bowl game they played, they were right there. I mean, they had them. I mean, of course, you know, you guys know how sports writing goes. For about maybe up until that last drive, my story narrative pretty much like, hey, Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy candidate, goes down the plane, and Auburn finds another way, and Jordan Hare to beat Alabama. That's about a good 800 words. Ready to go on that. And pretty much after that drive, none of them been working anything. So,
select Control A, delete.
Man, just not even Control A. Just click off of it, man. That's just because what are you looking at it? Because after that, none of those words even matter.
No,
everything changed. I mean, none of them really because it's it's there. It's like, hey, Auburn did this, Auburn did that, blah blah blah. I mean, that defense had that guy at Bama beat, and then you go back to play with Tank Stinks, he goes out of bounds, and maybe he shouldn't have, but then you also got to look at third down and one, where they go shotgun instead of just going line it up for that big old running back that they already got the yards for. You lose 4 yards, and you don't get the timeout. You know what I'm saying? Like just little things that beat them. The Mississippi State game at 25-3, bigger. Have about 800, 900 words written that don't mean nothing. 20. I mean, and of course the Falcons came up with that one, and I think that's what the season really went down. You can deal with the Texas A&M loss, going out there early game, and Texas A&M is a weird place to get to, and that Kyle Field is huge. I've never been before. It's a big old place with a lot of weird fans, twisting and swaying to a whole bunch of a lot of weird things, man. And so I can see that when offense doesn't have a great night, that happens. I mean, now the South Carolina loss, that was one where you're like, oh, okay, this is not going well. And I mean,
everything after the Mississippi State game started coming off the rails. Everything from there, it was just like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, and it's just, listen, you had Bo Nix, he got hurt, and that changed everything, and he got hurt in that Mississippi State game. Because if you go back, and it's really important you look at it, I mean, you can see that old defender tackled him, and they got tangled up, as they said, but depending on how you look at it, there's some ways you can look at that play, Point is, ankle gets rolled up, he's injured, and TJ Finley just was not prepared to play, because it's really hard to get a backup prepared play these days. The starter has to get so many reps. You don't have too much practice. Now that this is an excuse that Auburn fans want to hear, because Auburn ain't used to losing like that. They're just not. I mean, just Auburn historically means like first 3-game losing streaks in 2012, and what happened to put it to us when I got fired. Did it because of 4-game losing streak. Did it because we're 6-6. And I say all that to say, they really want to win this bowl. Smoke Monday's playing in it, who is going to the NFL. He's playing. They're not going to have McCreary. You're not going to have Broderick Sam on offensive line or Coach McClain. But they'll have a lot of guys. I think Bixby is playing in the game. And, I mean, we'll see we'll see how TJ Finley looks. But they're going to give it a whole college try. They don't want to have a losing record.
It's interesting that you say that, and we're speaking with Nubyjas Wilborn of AL.com, who covers Auburn as they get ready for this Birmingham Bowl against Houston. Birmingham to Auburn is what? Hour and a half?
Tops.
Yeah, about
with no
hour and a half, hour 45.
Here's the problem.
65, 280.
Is 280. That's
280 is the problem.
That's the problem. So you can't really do it in time.
Yeah. Okay. But
nah, that old 280 bottleneck once you get past a certain part of it, it gets weird, man. Yeah, but yeah, so it's not a real convenient way to get there. Or you could go up 65, but then that's a whole other thing. Might get a little too specific there for people there. Well, I guess you're in Tennessee. I guess y'all. Yeah.
My point being, though, again, to hear you say they want to win this ball game. I just wonder how fired up you are about a bowl game that's probably in closer proximity to you than, some regular season games. I mean, maybe
almost all.
Yeah.
Did you say it was sold out?
He did say it was sold out. You said it's a hard sellout.
Yeah, but they did. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of. Assuming everything's okay, because it's this old Omicron or Marion, how you said it. It's this thing going around like wildfires now. So, I mean, I don't know, but I'd assume there's going to be a big old crowd of Auburn for that. Because, I mean, shoot, they showed up to practice on Christmas Eve. Okay?
At Hoover High School.
A whole heap of people. At Hoover High School.
Goodness.
It's Christmas Eve. Now I went there because it's a job. You know what I'm saying? Some old boys, and old girls, they was out there, the old Auburn colors, man. They was there, man. I'm telling you. And I've learned this pretty quickly. If Auburn fans kill anything, they're gonna be super there. Okay? And they want to win.
Hey, you know what Pat Dye said, right? Alabama fans love Alabama football. Auburn fans love Auburn.
Yeah, no, listen, and I have learned that very quickly. If Auburn is doing something, it's gonna be some Auburn people there. I will give. I mean, and Pat Dye, God bless his soul, he wasn't lying about that. I've learned it very quickly.
So how does this team win this game? I mean, it's Tank Bigsby, right? I mean, they're usually going to have to lean on this guy and let him just wear down Houston, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, Houston got a good defense now, and their offense pretty good. I mean, they're ranked 21 in the country. They're 11-1. I know. I think some maybe SC bias or what the game is, the offense favorite, but I'm looking at Houston. I don't see how Auburn favors the game. I really don't. I'm not saying Auburn's going to lose it. I'm kind of surprised the favor. I guess maybe Auburn gets the home field effect because it will be a majority Auburn crowd. It will definitely be very.
Yeah, this ain't neutral site.
No, this ain't neutral site, baby. I mean, now if you ask some old Auburn fans, they might say the city of Birmingham hates them, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. But nah, it ain't neutral site, baby. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the Auburn people. Now it's kind of hard to move around because of everything with the whole coronavirus, but. They're there. They'll be there, and maybe that'll help carry them. I don't know, but for football reasons, I have a hard time seeing how Auburn wins this game.
Well, they're certainly going to have to block Derek Parrish and Logan Hall, and give T.J. Finley some semblance of an opportunity to make a decision on where to throw the football. He's not had that luxury much this year, in relief of Bo Nix.
Well, that old the offensive line has been an issue. It has been an issue. It's been really difficult for them to get things done, moving the ball, both running the ball as well as passing it. Because it's hard for running back can't open up running lanes, can't run the ball, he can't pass the ball, and it becomes a confluence of issues that Auburn has had when it comes to the offensive line. And how did he fix it? I don't know. You can't make the players much better than what they are. You can't make them trade, at least not yet.
And you can't throw it at Marcus Jones either if you do decide to throw it. Because
better not do that.
Marcus Jones is going to do something.
Hey, listen, you can try it if you want to. Just say there'll be a lot of people leaving Protected Stadium with some sad faces.
Timeout.
I mean,
Marcus Jones is opting out.
Oh,
he's opting out. Okay. Well, he did. See, and that's the game. I mean, it's tough because with guys like Smoke Monday, for instance, who's going to play, is he really going to play the game? He's going to play or two, then move on to the side. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I can't blame Marcus Jones for opting out. I mean, that was really good. A whole lot of money he got online.
Yeah. Nubyjas, how big a game is this for first-year coach Brian Harsin?
It's Auburn, man. I'm serious, man. To be very serious, man. I mean, it really. Listen, man. What old boy emailed me? He's an attorney at law in Fort Payne, Alabama. Okay. He emailed me. He said, "I guess Auburn not doing anything for the football game." I said, "Son, 2 days before Christmas, man." He's like, "But still, what are they doing for the football game?" I said, "Okay, all right." But we had Brittany, we had Richmond because there hadn't been much availability up until Christmas Eve. And I knew he's a lawyer from Fort Payne because he sent me from his corporate email address when we broadcast. I said, "Did you have your secretary going out by Christmas again, man? Or something?" You know what I mean? No, it's Auburn. It don't matter. They're playing this game. It matters, man.
They could play it on the day Jesus comes back, and they're gonna care about that more. That's just
you hear me?
And they don't care that it's 6-6 Auburn. This is a chance.
Doesn't matter.
This is a chance to get a third top 25 win. by the way. They
And
beat
they
Ole
wanted
Miss. They
that.
beat Arkansas. They beat Houston 7-6 with 3 top 25 wins. You go best 7-6 team in the country.
I mean, but listen though, here's the thing. Okay, during that Mississippi State game, me and my guy Tom Green, we looked at each other. I said, "Shoot, this was like the top 10 teams in the country." I mean, they were rolling. Mississippi State. They
And had
really
just
were.
beaten Ole
And they
Miss.
they had just beat Ole Miss. I mean, beat them up good, okay? And they were beating the tar out of Mississippi State until they won, and then it just went downhill from there. And I wish I could explain. I really do. I went back. Listen, I watched every game they played this year. I was covering Penn State when they went up there, and they gave Penn State a whole tough time, a good tough one, but Penn State beat them. And I mean, they gave Georgia one of the toughest games of the year. I mean, they nearly beat Alabama.
They nearly beat they beat Alabama for 57 minutes.
I mean, I'm serious, man. They really did. And I'll just do my Dak Prescott, man. But I hadn't started over. But type of story. I wish I had like an explanation that makes sense of any of this, but I don't. I mean, I can lie to you, they can say I'll lie to you, but it be a lie because I don't know. I can't explain it. They have some really talented players. That defense, when it's at its best, is one of the best defenses in the country. When they can get the run game going, have one of the best running backs in the country. When Bo Nix, of course, transferring, so can't really. And the way people got bad at that old boy, I mean, my goodness. Man, look, they batted the horse that dude, believe it. But yeah, they didn't want them there to stay, so I don't know what you want.
Hey, who's going to call plays?
That's a good question. They hadn't been told us, man. Yeah, they hadn't told us yet. So maybe Harsin, maybe the quarterback coach, a combination of such. Probably going to be Harsin, and they got to still do it by committee. They hadn't really said yet.
There's a rite of passage down at Auburn. The head coach having to call plays at some point during the season, whether he's taking them back or he has to do it. One of the two. It's just the way it goes down there. It's crazy, man.
Hey, man, listen, they don't take losing very well.
They certainly don't. There's no question about that. Again, Auburn, Houston, number 20, 11-2. 6-6 Auburn Tigers in the Birmingham Bowl at Protective Stadium. That is not Legion Field. Do not go to Legion Field. You will not see a ball game.
Not this ball game, anyway.
Well, I mean, you'll see something.
Yeah. But if you want a ticket, you can get one for $56 according to Vivid Seats, but I don't think that's accurate. Anyway, it's 11 a.m. kick, Central Time on ESPN. Nubyjas, Wilborn of AL.com. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all, man. Anytime, brother.
When we come back, we've got plenty to talk about. We'll just kind of throw out some topics and go from there. So stick around. It's going to be fun.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990. or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
The sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in to our final segment on this Reaction Monday as we get ready for Top 5 Tuesday tomorrow. We haven't come up with a top 5 topic yet, although I do think that one was probably pretty good. It might have quite a bit of overlap, though.
Mm-hmm.
At least number one is. There's no question there. But if you guys got any top 5 topics, throw them our way. We could certainly use them. JP, when we picked on Wednesday, we picked up to the Alamo Bowl. We did not pick the Oklahoma-Oregon Bowl, right?
That is correct.
I believe that is correct, yes.
Okay, so we will have to pick again on Wednesday.
Right.
Correct. We can pick a couple of games on Wednesday and then the rest of the games on Thursday. All the way through the playoffs. All the way through the new year.
The playoffs.
Playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs. Yeah, I figure we can get through maybe Thursday's games and then start with Fridays. Pick Friday and on. Yeah, that's a good plan. I like this plan. We might have a new game to pick, Mo. You were just saying off air.
At Brett McMurphy.
Stadium.
Yeah. And did I lose it? Here we go. Arizona Bowl seeking replacement for Boise State to play Central Michigan. Sun Bowl seeking replacement for Miami to play Washington State. Both games scheduled for Friday. This could be interesting. So apparently Boise State is not available. Obviously Miami is not available. We've discussed that. And I guess just putting Central Michigan and Washington State across the field from each other just makes too much sense.
I got nothing. Again, the question is, what bowl do they play in? And the answer is whoever's paying the most money.
Whoever's paying the most money.
I mean, the Sun Bowl is probably not an ESPN-owned bowl, if I had to guess.
I think it might be the one that is not.
CBS.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that may be the issue. Is that the Arizona Bowl is.
Well, and that's why you get Memphis to land that plane coming back from Hawaii in El Paso.
Are they back yet?
I don't know. They might still be cooling in Hawaii.
I would.
Surely they are. But I mean,
but
again,
they haven't dispersed yet.
SMU and East Carolina were both available as well. I mean, it seemed like you could have got somebody for that ball game.
I absolutely should have been able to. I'm just trying to figure out how nobody was willing to go to Hawaii.
To play Memphis out there?
Like, hey, I mean, we're here.
Come on out.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate part of it because a lot of these teams are there and they're expensing a lot of money and not getting anything in return. Yeah. So, I mean, Memphis is probably begging for an opponent.
You know, you go out there, especially, Memphis in particular, you got out there. You want to play somebody. You've been practicing. And again, a bowl game is a reward for a good season. You want to play. these guys have gotten the chance to play and bringing them into a hotel meeting room or whatever and tell them, hey, sorry, they've got COVID. We can't play. Go pack. We're going home. That's not the closure that you're looking for, for those seniors and that kind of thing. And it's tough.
It's always tough when you don't know it's the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think there's going to be a last time and then there's not, that's brutal.
It's got to be.
I mean, as someone who knew, after that 10th game, my regular season, my senior year, that was it. I mean, it makes it a little easier to, the next day. But boy, man. Let's move into college hoops a little bit, Mo, because we didn't get a chance to watch nearly as much of it as we probably would like to have, especially after seeing what the score was at halftime. But Tennessee, who has been as up and down as anybody in non-conference play, get blown out by Villanova and then run North Carolina out of the gym. Then you lose to Texas Tech, and now you've beaten previously unbeaten Arizona. It's like this team is as Jekyll and Hyde as I've seen.
Yeah, and I don't really know what prompts the Jekyll or the Hyde, but I tell you what, when you're going to get 24 and 10,
yep, out of Fulke,
you're going to have a shot.
When he is playing at that level, Tennessee is almost impossible to beat.
Well, and the thing is, you particularly on this team, because you've got to account for him, but you've also got to do something with Kennedy Chandler out on top.
Justin Powell off the bench. Josiah Jordan-James is fantastic. I think that's the key, and that's why I'm saying that is because Fulke is who he is. When he plays at that level, there's no way a college basketball team can play with him.
And apparently folks across the Southeastern Conference agreed, because after he scored 24 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and drew 13 fouls in that win over number 6 Arizona, Fulkerson was named co-SEC Player of the Week, sharing the honor with Kentucky forward Oscar Tshiebwe, which is not spelled like it sounds. All Tshiebwe did was set a Rupp Arena record with 28 rebounds against Western Kentucky, breaking the previous mark of 21 set by Shaquille O'Neal on February 15th, 1990. Most rebounds in Division I college basketball since 2015. Also finished with 14 points. So 28 rebounds in a game gets you co-SEC Player of the Week.
Well, he didn't have 24 and 10 against a previously unbeaten and 6th ranked Arizona. So
I guess that's tough.
And Tennessee's next opponent has been backpedaling and reeling for a week now, if not longer.
Who that?
Alabama.
Oh, they don't play again till then?
They play Wednesday night against Alabama. And I guess you can hear that game on either station, whichever one you tune in.
Simulcast, huh?
Depending on who you want to listen to. They've lost 2 of their last 3, including that Memphis game and then to Davidson. They beat Houston in the middle of that. But then they, obviously they beat JSU, but only beat them by 6. They don't look great right now.
Well, it's December.
It is December, but this is the start of SEC play. And this particular game for both of these teams is a massive game.
It is. Not seeing this week's poll.
I don't know, but the power rankings that I've seen are, let's see here. The AP poll is topped by Baylor.
Again.
And Alabama sits at 19th, while Tennessee is at 14th, up 5. Alabama down 9 from number 10. In the coaches poll, Alabama is also at 19, but Tennessee is at 15, just behind Houston, who Alabama beat.
Baylor, Duke, Purdue, Gonzaga, and UCLA, the top 5 in this week's AP poll. Should be an interesting ball game, like you said.
And it's I believe it's at Coleman, so that's
tough place to play.
Yeah, because it is what it is. I'm not going to call it what it is because I don't want to be ugly.
Be nice.
I mean, it's an airplane hangar, but ESPN2, 8:00 tip on. So Tennessee has its opportunity. They have their opportunity to take down the reigning SEC champion, an opportunity to build on what they've been doing.
Well, to build on specifically that win over Arizona. I mean, and to get off to
a road win.
Yeah. In SEC play.
I don't
against a team that many have projected as a top 4 seed in next March's NCAA tournament.
After the week Alabama's had, who's the favorite in the SEC? Kentucky finally looks like Kentucky, by the way, after nearly losing to Miles. Division II Miles College out of Fairfield, Alabama. I mean, they look pretty good. Alabama is certainly looking worse. Tennessee trending in the right direction. Auburn, not bad.
Don't sleep on Arkansas.
Don't sleep on Arkansas. Absolutely not. LSU's pretty good. I don't know that there is a favorite.
There may not be.
It feels like the SEC is open. So this isn't a do or die, make or break game, but it certainly gives you a leg up.
I think it's a bigger win for Tennessee because it's on the road than it is for Alabama, or it might be a bigger win for each team for different reasons because, like you said, Alabama's kind of looking for some footing after having lost, 2 of their last 3?
Basically? 2 of their last 3, yeah. After beating Gonzaga and Houston, they lost 2 of 3.
So big for different reasons for both teams, but like you said, just means more.
It just means more. Joe Lunardi has Tennessee.
That's 5.
Maybe 3. Has them as the AQ.
Oh.
So I guess there is a favorite according to Joe Lunardi. He's got Tennessee as a 3 seed as the automatic
AQ.
As the AQ.
That means he's picking Tennessee to win the SEC tournament.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Wow.
And
what's he got at Alabama?
Well, unfortunately, it's not a 5 seed against 12 seeded UAB. They are a 5 seed, but they're slated to go against Belmont instead of the Blazers, which if Alabama's a 5 and UAB's a 12, they're playing.
Well, sure they are.
If those two, if that's where they end up, and this committee does not put them in the same bracket, they ought to just quit making brackets.
I don't know that UAB is a 12 seed if they win Conference USA.
I would agree. They're certainly not. If Belmont's a 12, UAB's not a 12. So,
yeah.
We'll talk to our bracketologist later in the year, Jerry Palm. We'll get his thoughts on that.
We might even have to get a hold of him this week since his alma mater is going to be in town Friday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Boy, It's Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Thursday.
I bet.
You said Friday. It blew me
I
off.
did.
Or
My
it threw
fault.
me off. I was like, well,
Thursday. Sorry.
come back tomorrow. Will be Tuesday. And we will be on the same bat time, same bat channel right here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Thanks to Joe Williams and Nubyjas Wilborn for hanging out with us as well. For Mo Patton and JP Plant, I'm Chris Jousing. Have a great day and stay cool, Columbia.